Good evening, all, and we'd like to welcome you to another edition of AAU Teen Talk TV, Building Bricks segment. Building Bricks is a youth empowerment platform for young men to develop as far as leadership, lifestyle, and legacy. Bricks is the acronym for brotherhood, relationships, integrity, character, knowledge, and synergy. And I am your co-host, Herman Dunham Jr., and I am with my main man,
William Teddy Portwine, and we have a very special guest today.
very special.
Yes, retired NYPD veteran, Inspector Deputy Corey Pegues, my man Corey Life Pegues for the fellas out in the hood up in OCB.
From around the way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, it's been a long road, a lot of time, so forth, and we're just going to jump right into it. We were kind of going on to it offline about the relationship that we've had with so many years of just knowing each other and so forth, and the different things that we've done in life. So it's definitely a pleasure and honor to have you with us. And we want you to introduce yourself, and wherever you want to go is where we go. We're just gonna kick it, man.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna kick it. This is the show. This is it.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, brothers, for bringing me on. You know, we family. Know you guys. We grew up together for the world out there. We all from O'Connell Park, Queens.
No doubt.
South Jamaica, Queens, St. Albans, Queens, the whole Queens borough. That's where we from.
No doubt,
And
no doubt.
I'm proud of y'all having this outlet to bring people in, to, you know, so their story can be told.
Beautiful.
And
Thank you.
just a little introduction of me. I mean, y'all know it, but for the people out there, you know, I grew up in St. Albans, Queens, family of 6'5" girls. I was the only boy. Went to public schools out there, graduated from Andrew Jackson High School. But in between, while I was a teenager, I was heavily involved in the streets. Sold all kind of crack. If you're about 60 years old, I probably sold you a dime of crack if you were smoking in the 80s. And that's what it was. I mean, we grew up in an era that's unlike any other decade, other than like the Depression and Prohibition and stuff.
Right.
That era, that crack era, it was out of control.
Right.
No police around. Police was all corrupted.
Right.
They were all on
Oh, my
tape.
goodness.
I know because I was working with a team that was paying them every week. So they were corrupt. It was just a mess, and the crack hit, and it just was really tearing down our communities. And, you know, the young kids, you know, me being 13, 14, 15, 16, we didn't know no better. We were just out there. We were just trying to get some sneaker money, look fly, get girls, and just have fun. And but one day, I decided I had to change my life because you can't do the same thing at 13, 14, 15 that you're doing at 25.
Absolutely.
So I decided to sign up into the military, and I went to the U.S. Army. And, you know, for the kids out there, I have this acronym that I tell people, and I'm going to say this in the camera for the kids out there. If you follow the law, you can succeed. And I'm not talking about put your seatbelt on when you're driving the car. I'm talking about L. Look for opportunities. Whatever you want to do, look for your opportunity. Then the A is you gather information and analyze it. Analyze all the information. So you want to be a cop, a doctor, lawyer, a show host, analyze that information. And then the W is work toward getting it done. You follow the law, success will follow you. And that's what you have to do. Look for opportunities, analyze it, what you want to do, and then work toward getting it. If you do those three things, you will be successful. And that's what I did. I knew that I had to get out of the street. And you know, I tell these young kids out here in the street when I'm doing the motivational speaking like you guys, it's hard telling somebody to get out of the street and you don't give them a backup plan. It's one of the things I hate about Scared Straight.
Right.
Like it, remember we was young, it was real Scared
man,
Straight.
man, it was
It was a real Scared Straight.
it was real.
This new Scared Straight, you know, it's all
It's kind of
commercialized now.
Right. Right.
So they know they're gonna go there. You're gonna go, yo, get off the street. No, I'm gonna do this when you come in here, rah, rah, rah. Then you take them back home.
Right.
So I envision, hey, we can have Scared Straight. You take them up to Fishkill, Clinton, Watertown, wherever you want to take them. But when you finish, bring them back home to like a rec center. You got McDonald's set up, you got Burger King, you got Starbucks. Now McDonald's already guaranteed 3 jobs. You got 15 kids, 3 of y'all definitely getting a job. fill these applications out now. You got the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine. You got some trade schools there.
Right.
Give these kids opportunities, because you can't just go from having like all of this money in your pocket and then having $3, but hanging out with the guys that got $2,000 in their pocket.
Right.
It don't work.
It's not gonna work.
You have to give them opportunities.
Right.
And then after the military, I was able to go into the New York City Police Department, and I rose to the top of the police department fairly quickly. Actually, I was a commanding officer of the 67th Precinct, which is in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, one of the second or third most violent precincts in the city of New York. Some people say number one. I was the first black commander there in the history of the New York City Police Department. I don't know how I got the luck of the draw, but somebody had to be the first. And Police Commissioner Ray Kelly, you know, he took a liking to me and gave me that. And I also was commanding officer PSA 2, which is Police Service Area Number 2. I had all the projects, or what they call housing developments now. I had them in East New York, Brownsville, and Crown Heights. Pink houses, Brownsville, Howard, King houses, the most violent houses in the city of New York. I ran those precincts. I was in the belly of the beast.
Congratulations on making it there, and then, you know, and here's the piece, survive it.
Congratulations for being here today.
No doubt, no doubt.
But all along, you know, my upbringing, you know, even being in the streets and all that made me what I am today. You know, I left the streets, I graduated, I went into police department, I got a bachelor's in organizational management from St. Joseph's College, I got a master's in criminal justice leadership from St. John's University, and I got a professional certificate from Columbia University. I went to the Police Management Institute, which is the #1 police executive school on the East Coast. Wow. So I did a lot, you know. So I'm qualified and quantified to do all these things that I'm doing.
Absolutely.
And as y'all know, I have this book coming out. I decided to write a book about my journey and my life story. Right. And it isn't about pumping up me being in the street selling drugs and stuff. It's so little of that in the book. But it's more about going from rags to riches. Not that I'm richy rich, but it's about changing your life.
Absolutely.
Making choices from when you was young. You're not going to make the same choices that you do when you're older. And it's a very powerful book, untitled at this point, but it'll be out in the next 6 or 7 months. Signed a deal with a major publisher. Can't really announce it yet because they got to announce that. But
congratulations. Yeah.
I got to shout out my lawyer, Ed Woods, Woods Jr., who made these things happen for me. And
beautiful.
We're on the track of doing some really big things.
So it's safe to assume that your hustle didn't stop.
No, the hustle don't stop.
You just kind of took it from the streets and incorporated it into mainstream America.
That's it. Well, you know, I wrote my own manuscript and I called it From the Streets to the Beat. And that's really what it was. I just took the streets to police in the NYPD. I didn't commit one crime as a cop, but I did the same. Everything is a hustle.
Right.
Everything is a hustle. So I go into the police department and they say, you don't want to be a sergeant, you got to read books and you got to pass this test. I said, read a book? That's what I have to do? I got to read a book to do what you do? And I knew the salary from a cop to a captain was like $78,000 difference. Now I'm hustling. I said, I got to get that. It take a while, but it took me 13 years from $28,000 to $100,000. Probably made that less than 9 years when I was like a lieutenant or whatever. But it was all a hustle. Right. And in any profession, you want to maximize your financial potential.
Absolutely.
Just like y'all got this show, you want to be Oprah.
Right.
That's what you want to do. Hey, you don't want to be Arsenio. We'll take Arsenio money, but you want to do Oprah. And that's everything in life, is just maximizing whatever you can do.
Absolutely. That's marvelous. And again, congratulations, man. You the journey. You know what I mean? And we know what journey is. Going through things and being able to persevere, being intelligent or wanting it enough, having a desire to be able to, you know, put some things, make some sacrifices, put some things aside, and actually reach for it, man. And it's amazing what you did. And I was laughing at the story that you guys were telling backstage when we bumped into each other in Brooklyn. And it's just, you know, life is an amazing thing to be able to put childish things away and focus on that which you know, what you're made for, you know, the purpose and give your life meaning and be able to take it to the highest level. And, you know, you took it to a very, very high level. And, you know, I guess I can't stop saying how proud I am of you and then what you're doing now afterwards and giving back to kids and everything, man. It's a phenomenal piece, man. So, again, man, this is like a reunion piece. This is tight.
I mean, the most dynamic thing for me is when you look at the neighborhood. There's so many of us that came from the same circumstances,
Right.
that are doing very well in our latter years. And you always hear people say, "Where are the men? Where are the men?" The men are here,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, just in our community, and that's not counting people that we may know from state to state,
Right.
even in other countries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, just to see that, and the main thing is what I always tell young folks when we speak: don't look at your condition today, because you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. But you need to take steps towards where you want to be, which means you got to have some foresight.
Right.
They got to follow the law.
Right.
Follow the
If
law.
I got to take 2 steps to get over there, I know I got to get up and take 2 steps
That's right.
to get to that point. So I like the acronym too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steal that.
I started to write that down too. I started to write it down when I,
I
said,
got it,
yeah,
I got
right,
it.
You got it. Okay.
That's
good.
I just debuted that here.
Oh, that's even
You
better.
heard it here.
You heard it
It's a
first.
world premiere right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but tell us a little more. Give us a little more about the book.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
you can't go too
yeah.
far, but just
Nah,
give us a little
we
synopsis.
We can give you a synopsis of the book. The book is pretty much it's my life story. Again, growing up in South Queens, and let me just tell you, this book is as real as it get. You're gonna hear everything is in it. We talking about all kind of crime, selling drugs, sex, money, drugs, whatever you can think about that happened in the '80s is there.
Right.
But then there's this transformation in the second part of the book. That's really, for me, it's the meat and potatoes.
Right.
Wherever people might like this shoot 'em up, bang bang stuff, which is nice, but the transformation is what really makes the book a phenomenal work of art. And I have a co-writer with me that's a New York Times best-selling author who has a few books on the New York Times bestseller list,
Okay.
and he gets the story. He's a white guy from Louisiana, but he gets it. He's well read, and he gets what we actually been through. He doesn't know what we've been through our neighborhood, but just from speaking with people, doing a lot of research. You know, it's funny because I took him to the hood. I took him to 198 in Murdoch. I took him to the epicenter. I took him to the epicenter, 198 in
No
Murdoch.
doubt.
8 o'clock in the morning. True story.
What?
And we probably touch it on the book. 8 o'clock in the morning, we get there. I don't think anybody's going to be out there.
What?
I'm telling you, internets, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. There's 5 guys on the corner, 3 Hennessy bottles, a crate.
I ride by
pull
there
up.
once a week. I'm telling you,
We
and they
pull
there.
up. This is
I
8
don't even want to
o'clock
mention
in
no
the
names.
morning.
I know these guys.
We can't say names.
You can't say
It's
no
8
names.
in the morning, and here I get out the car, and I got this white guy with me from Louisiana.
Wow.
Nice guy, very good guy. And we get out the car, and they go, "Yo, Life, yo, what's up? Yo, what's going on?" And he's like, "You know these guys?" Yeah. I used to sell drugs with their parents back in the day.
Right.
Like, this is the new generation that's out here. And we just was going for a photo op, take some pictures so he could feel the neighborhood
Right.
and everything. And we out here drinking Hennessy. I said, "Come on, drink some of this." He's like, "Nah, I don't want it." He's like, "You gonna drink some?" I said, "I can't break bread with my people. It's 8 in the morning."
You had right.
This is what we do.
That's it. You have
But
Oh, my goodness.
it's all good, man.
No doubt.
And I'm taking people through South Queens on the other side, you know, Baisley Park. We're going everywhere in this book, and
That's
you
real.
can visually see. You know, I was reading the first half of the book the other day. I read it like 9 times, you know, because I gotta know it for verbatim, and it's just bringing you back. And you know, you guys, once it dropped, you know, you guys gonna get that first interview.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Ed Woods is watching right now, but Ed, these are my guys,
No
man. We
doubt.
got
We
to
are
give
ready.
them
Definitely gotta come
sneak
back for the
peek.
book. We
We
gotta
gotta bring them back.
Ready. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and hear some more with from Corey Pegues. And
Life.
Ah, live, right.
Hi, I'm Jeanette J.J. Branch, America's favorite stunt woman, and I'm with AAU Teen Talk. Join us live every Thursday, 4 p.m., only on Madhouse TV. Y'all watching?
We're going to do a live commercial. Hi, I'm Renee Marie. I'm the president of Language of Love Incorporated Foundation. I'm really happy to tell you that we're going to be doing a Language of Love telethon on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please look for the location on my website, ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And the show will be hosted on the Madhouse TV. It really is important for you to be aware of strokes and aphasia. Strokes is the third leading cause of death in America and the first leading cause of disability. And it really is something that plays no favoritism. And it also really comes when you're not expecting. Nobody expects to have a stroke, and nobody expects to suffer from aphasia, and it really does make a huge impact in your life and change your life in one split second. So we look forward to having everyone join us once again on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can follow us on ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. Once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless.
And we are back, and we're very, very happy to be here, the Building Brick segment with Corey Pegues, retired police, NYPD police commissioner, and we want to get into a few things because I guess the insight that individuals don't have, when it comes to the higher ranking officers and individuals, the executives of the police department, the things that we really need to know, that the young people need to know, that these parents need to know. So I don't know where you want to start. You want to start with the parents or you want to start with the young people? Because I know we're going to get into current events during our final segment.
Right.
So,
well, how about let's give some pointers for kids out there. I do a lot. I go around doing a lot of speaking about police citizen encounters in the street, in the car, and in your home. Just a few tips.
The one you told me about. When you say show,
Yeah.
show
Right.
me your hand.
That's why I was looking for a pen on that one.
okay, you need one?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
So, a lot of people always talking about, the cops always say, raise your hands, raise your hands.
Right.
Yeah, cops want to see palms. They don't want to see this.
Right.
Because this could be this. Turn, boom, you have a 25 caliber in your hand. So show your hands. They want to see this, not this. It's very important that cops see your palms, spread them out all the time. Please, make sure your palms are out. Obey all rules, regulations, obey all orders that the cops give you, because you got to live to fight another day.
Right.
You can fight another day. You can be gangster and show off in front of your friends and get what they call in the police, and they call it the Arab rap, where you got the mummy wrap around your head because you went to the hospital and the hospital had to bandage you up. When I was a cop, that's what they used to say. When I was a cop 20-something years ago, why this guy don't have the mummy wrap or the Arab rap? And I used to be like, what are you talking about? But that's what they would get off on.
Okay.
All right. The whole stop and frisk thing. Just stop. Give them the information. Do you have to? The thing is, people always ask me, do you have to identify yourself? No. You don't have to. Say, look, who are you? Joe Blow, I'm walking. You can't stop me. But you know what's going to happen. It's going to escalate.
Right.
Give them the information and ask for their name and shield. If not, but in NYPD, they have a shield right here. Their name is under and numbers. But more importantly, if they're in a car, get the car number. Because every car right now, where we here talking in New York City, every car that has a number, the commissioner know who's in the car. So get the car number. Don't even be confrontational with them. And the most dangerous part of a police job is doing a car stop, which you don't know. Because I'm just pulling you over because your tail light is busted. But you just shot 3 people. I don't know that. I just want to get my summons for your tail light.
Right.
And so that's why it's so dangerous when cops are coming up to your car. So this is me on a car stop. Executive, 20-something years as a police officer. I'm driving. I get pulled over. Both hands on the steering wheel. If I have chance, I'm rolling those windows down before they get to my car. All 4 power windows, rolling them down, turning the dome light on. Hands on the top of the steering wheel. All right? Because I want them to be very comfortable. Sometimes I put one on the top and one outside so they know, hey. Because now when they come into the car, I know that they're relaxed. That's something y'all don't know. So I'm telling you this now. You pull over and just make them relax. And before I reach for my wallet, if it's 2 cops, one on this side, one on that one, I'm not reaching until I tell this cop, tell your buddy over there that I'm getting ready to go into the right back of my pocket. I'm not moving at all until I hear him tell him he's going for his wallet. Because I don't want to be a statistic or a mistake.
Right.
Like, oh, I saw him reach for something. No, tell him now. So once he knows, because now he's raised up, he comes down, he's reaching for his wallet, give him the wallet. Everything it's not all like cops are really bad. Some of them are bad. And we see a lot of recent incidents when cops beating up people.
Right.
They're shooting people. They're choking people to death. Those cops should be prosecuted and sent to jail.
Right.
But there's a lot of cops that's out there actually doing the right thing.
Okay.
And
I wanted to question. I saw one time, and you probably heard the case in Jersey. I think it was Jersey. Anyway, kid in the car. He was arrested for some other stuff, let him out, but they knew who was in the car. I guess, because as criminals, you get to know the police from stops and so forth.
You're talking about the young man that the police already knew. He had several encounters.
Right,
Police
right.
already-
So now I'm sitting back and I'm watching the video, and I noticed that the voice and the verbiage escalated. It went from "let me see your hands" to a bunch of profanities, and if I'm correct, I could be wrong, but we can bring this into the scenario too. What do we do if that yelling is going on, but we're getting different directions from each cop? What happens in a situation like that?
well, for me, what I'm gonna advise people to do is one, just keep your mouth shut. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. Any confrontation with a cop, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and my hands is in the air and I'm showing him my palms. That's the biggest defense you have. 'Cause they can't do. It's just like when you arguing with your wife. I always tell people, like, you arguing with your girlfriend or your wife. The more she escalate and you de-escalate, she stops screaming. Because it's like, I can't even get through to him. Same thing with cops. They start screaming and yelling. You just say, sir, my hands are up. I don't want any problems. What is there that you need me to do? And a nice, calm voice. My fucking hands is up. And don't scream back at them. Just be calm. Because eventually they're going to say, hey, this guy, like, I'm trying to go this child, but it's not working.
Right.
So I would advise you got a situation where you're getting different orders. You just say, listen, my hands are up. What is it that you guys need me to do? Everybody's screaming at me, and I don't even know what to do. Do you need me to get on the ground? Do you need me to get against the wall?
Right.
And just be calm.
You mentioned go to his child, transactional analysis, where you speak to either the child, the parent, or the adult.
Right.
Actually, is what it is. Is that part of training for officers, or that's just something that you know?
That's just something I know about.
Okay, through
growing up.
degrees.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I caught that and it makes sense that if someone's yelling at me and they're going to my child, but if my child doesn't respond, if I continue to be calm and respond in an adult fashion, you're absolutely right. It has to come back. It has to meet.
Everybody can't. Nothing gonna get done if everybody's like rah rah rah.
Right.
Somebody got to be the cool, calm, and force, which we would expect somebody making over $100,000 would be the cool, calm, and force that had $200,000 in training.
Right.
But a lot of those times it don't work.
Right.
So the end all be all, like I always tell these kids, is don't put the onus on the cops to make sure you get home safe.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you get home safe. I'm done with. I tell them, like, I got 2 sons, that's of age, like an 18-year-old son, a 27-year-old. I tell them, don't worry about no cops. Don't worry about the cops getting you home safe. You got to get home safe. And these are the things that you are going to do from me to make sure you get home safe. You're going to keep your mouth shut. You're going to put your hands in the air. And if you do get arrested, you're not talking to anybody until, I don't care what they offer you.
Right.
A brand new Mercedes. Keep your mouth shut until I get there or a lawyer get there. And you're not signing any piece of paper.
Right.
And this is not a knock at cops, but we have to let our kids know
Absolutely.
what's right and what's wrong.
Absolutely.
I love the police. I got a house, 2 cars, white picket fence. It was a great career.
Right.
But we still have to allow our kids an opportunity to know what's right and wrong when they're dealing with law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned stop and frisk. And one of the questions I got for you is, Mayor de Blasio, he has Bratton as his commissioner. During his run, he ran on the ticket of, I'm going to try to rid stop and frisk, but then he hired the guy who damn near invented it. How does that work?
Yeah, let me tell you, the number one question in law enforcement at that time was, he already had made his pick. You know, Bratton is the architect of stop and frisk and broken windows theory. And I'm telling you, the broken windows is, with the small crime, jumping over turnstiles, urinating and all that. Deal with the small crimes because they probably doing big crimes. Yeah, it worked. When I was a cop, we didn't do anything. We was a reactive force. We just rode around. If something happened, like, oh, all right, something happened. We got to show up and do it. Now, perfect example. Somebody got shot when I was a cop. We showed up, scooped the body, whatever. If we get somebody, we get them. Now, today, somebody gets shot. They're going to try to figure out why he got shot. When is the next shooting? We got to triangulate this area. Let's look at his associates, the last 8 friends. There's a whole lot involved. Before, we didn't care, okay? But then with the stop, question, and frisk, we started stopping people. This guy was wanted for murder. This guy was a rapist. This guy was a burglar. It was like, oh, man. So we did that so we was getting 20% decrease, 17, 18%. You look at the last 4 or 5 years, there's no decrease other than 2%. But stop, question, and frisk went up. So when we were stopping 100,000 people, we got a 20% decrease in crime. Then we stopped 700,000 people, and we got a 3% decrease. The numbers don't work.
Right.
The math just didn't work.
Right.
And Ray Kelly and Bloomberg allowed this to go.
Right.
And de Blasio, that was the best thing he said. Let's get rid of stop, question, and frisk. But he brought the architect back.
Right.
I don't understand it.
I'm trying to figure
How
out
can
what
you
I'll
bring
do.
the architect back for stopping, frisk, and broken windows? Let me tell you, you could write a summons for anything. Do you know you could write a summons administrative code for feeding pigeons? You don't see nobody getting locked up in Central Park feeding pigeons, right?
Wow.
It don't work. Drinking open containers.
Right.
You ever been to a concert in Central Park? They all bring bottles of wine. Is that alcohol?
Absolutely.
Are they get locked up?
I ride the Long Island
Bryant
Railroad.
Park, Central Park,
Right.
Prospect Park. Let somebody drink a Budweiser in Brownsville.
Mm.
So you're not. It's so loosey goosey. Like it's so subjective. Like I'm gonna lock these people up over here, but we're not gonna touch these people.
Right.
And people are tired of getting pounded on. You can't keep beating people. If you keep beating your girlfriend, eventually she's gonna pick up a knife and stab you.
Right.
So you can't keep doing these things, and you're alienating a whole block of people.
Right.
It's like my sons, I was out the other night with some friends, and I had my son with me, my oldest son, and I said, he was like, yo, he want to be a cop? I said, my son don't want to be. My sons don't want to be cops. Here, their father was an executive in the NYPD. I have other family members as cops. They don't want any parts of it. And you know what they tell me? Dad, I don't want to be a cop, man. The cops always messing with people.
Hmm.
And I'm not even mad at them.
Right.
But I told them I didn't want to be a cop because they was bothering me.
Right.
But I said the only way to change the culture is to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Get inside the culture.
Get inside.
But these young kids today, minorities, they don't want anything to do with being a cop. You can see the numbers. They just had to report last week. The number of African American cops is dwindling.
Okay.
The number of minorities in the city, minorities majority, but minorities starting to dip in the police department.
Right.
Because of what's happening.
Did you experience any racism climbing the ladder?
Oh,
I just hit you with the.
that must be a loaded question.
Okay, so here it is.
That gotta be a loaded one.
Time out. I'm showing my palm. Right. Let me hit you with
said he
the,
showed
let me
his
hit you
balls.
with the other piece. Let me hit you with the other piece. How much racism did you experience climbing the ladder?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. It is what it is. Well, you see, minorities are the majority in the NYPD right now, meaning like black, Hispanics, Asians, East Indians, Africans. In terms of numbers, they're high. But when you go to the top of the police department, it's still 75% male white run.
Okay.
So that's what it is. It has always been a male white dominated police force. And that's what it is. It is what it is. So I dealt with racism. You know, cronyism and racism is so close. So sometimes you don't even know if it's racism or... Because, like, if I'm the commissioner, you my man. I'm bringing you on the job.
Right.
You're going to get the job. I don't even care if you qualify. Trev, you need a job? I'm the boss.
Right.
I'm going to bring you in. But when you keep doing it to so many different people and you're not hiring anybody else or putting anybody else in powerful positions, you know, I love, they always say, well, we got black bosses. You know, they'll put a black chief on TV, but it's like 90 chiefs and only 6 blacks. And so then you say, oh, there's black chiefs up there.
Right.
Yeah, and they're not even in power positions.
Right.
See, I know where the power is.
Right.
You know, I was in there. I know the power is the commissioner, the chief of department, the chief of detectives, the chief of internal affairs. Guess what all of those spots are?
Right.
Male white. So I know where the power is. Yeah, they ain't make you chief. Oh, you want to be a chief? I'll make you a chief. Well, they ain't giving you no power. You see, the highest ranking black quit a few months ago, Phil
Right.
Banks.
Right.
He didn't want no parts of that mess. He got a
But
dog.
you know what's? Why do you think? Do you think he really quit because he wasn't gonna have no power, or he quit because he was just tired of the BS?
Well, he saw it, and he in a roundabout way said it.
Well, I mean, I was in there for
You know
years.
what I'm
I
saying?
know him very
You-
well.
you
I
know
worked
him very
for
well,
him
but from
a
the
few
outside
times.
looking in,
Mhm.
he said it without saying it.
And he didn't say anything to me. I know what it is. And it's like, look, I've been here 20-something years, 28 years. I'm tired. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Y'all can have it. Y'all want this? Give it to your man. I'm gone.
Wow.
Which I don't think was, you know, great because those cops need him there. Just to look up and say, yo, he's there.
There's a
That's
model.
my motivation. I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it.
That's and it's good to have a role model.
Right.
To be able to see that.
Exactly.
But we're gonna go to commercial break and we're gonna come back. We're gonna keep it hot, man. We're gonna keep it hot,
It's rolling.
man.
First
All
time
right.
I ain't had nothing to say. It's rolling.
Oh man.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
And we know you guys couldn't wait till we come back because we're actually getting ready to move into a deeper segment dealing with what's been going on lately in the news. And we're going to hear it firsthand from our special guest. And again, we thank you for coming out, Corey Pegues. And let's just jump right into it, man. What's going on? Eric Garner, Mike Brown, what's my man, Gurley?
Gurley.
Yeah. What's happening, bro?
Oh man!
Tell us.
Listen, it's what's happening is cops' feet are not being held to the fire. You know, once they raise their hand and swear to protect the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of whatever state they live in, it's a job. It's a heavy responsibility. One thing people have to realize, and I'll put it in layman's terms, you're talking about somebody 19 to 21 years old, living home with their mama and daddy, if daddy's there, and they got a gun. A legal gun and a right to kill. If imminent deadly physical force is being used against you or someone else. It's a heavy responsibility, and they got about 60 college credits.
I know one thing. I was going down Baisley Boulevard one day, and I saw one of the rookies standing up. I told my man, keep going, I'm scared. Because he looks scared. He might shoot me by accident. He looks scared. His gun looks like it's ready to go over his home.
It's a heavy responsibility. And, you know, with all these cases that's happening, and everybody, the first thing people say is training. And I say, forget training. I don't want to hear anything about training. They get so much training. They get training. What they need to do is start putting some of these cops in jail. Start putting some, because right now, all of us, one thing we all understand is we have to pay rent or mortgage. When you can't find that money, you're going to do what's right. When they start seeing cops get locked up and paraded in front of the TV cameras, like Bratton did in '93 with the Dirty 30, and they marched all those cops out on camera, locked them up for being dirty cops. You start locking these cops up, and other cops will stop doing this nonsense. Right. It's all of this stuff is simple stuff. You know, you're talking about the Garner case. You know, it's no reason in the world. You had a black female sergeant on the scene right there. Right. She was right on top of it. But I can't breathe. She was right there.
Right.
Didn't do anything. Wow. Like, no direction. Like, guys, get off. Didn't even say get off. Like, how do you allow these things to happen? And these guys...
she was on Staten Island.
She's on Staten Island. Well, I know what her dynamic was. She's a black female sergeant in Staten Island. There's probably 3% black cops out there. She's scared to death. She was a rookie. She just got there. I mean, they're not going to kill her. But listen, don't take the test if you don't want to be the boss. That's my thing. Right. Well, she should be a cop. Today, she should be a cop because she definitely failed to supervise. You got to start holding these people's feet to the fire. That's the only way you're going to bridge the gap between the community and police. Because we keep allowing these people, we have nothing to do with the judicial system. If they don't get an indictment, it's nothing you can do. Right. But the police commissioners or the police chiefs in these various municipalities, they have power. Right. It's like the police chief in St. Louis. It happened in August. He just resigned last week. You kidding me? 2 weeks ago, he just resigned. The mayor or the city manager don't fire this guy?
Right.
How you don't fire this guy? Well, the city manager got an issue also because he said in August, we don't have a race relation in St. Louis. How you don't have a race relation in St. Louis when you got a 72% minority community, right. 72% right. minority. Well, it ain't even minority, 72% black. The school board don't have one black person on the school board. And the police department got 54 cops and only 3 blacks. You telling me you don't have no race issue there?
That's a problem.
Oh, it's a problem, but we have some culpability because 2 weeks before Brown, there was a mayoral election. Only 11% of the people came out to vote. And I bet $1 to a donut, that 11%, I could probably bet 85% of it was the white, which is only 28%.
Right.
So we have those issues. But, you know, people got to make sure when they vote, and you got to hold people's feet to the fire. It's like when I was a commander in this East Flatbush, Brooklyn, I would just take walk-ins. Like, I really had an open door policy. Like, people could walk off the street. If I wasn't doing anything, I'd say, hey, what's going on? And you tell me something. Sometimes I tell you, look, the cop is right. Sometimes I'd be like, yo, that cop ain't right. Sergeant, go get that officer, bring him to my office now. And I had to deal with it immediately. I'm not waiting for a civilian complaint or internal affairs. I was dealing with them right then. But most people not gonna do what I do.
Right.
See, that's the difference I noticed today. Like, for instance, I always talk about this. Everybody knew Smitty from 113 Precinct. Smitty knew your parents.
Right.
You couldn't do anything, and he see it and not
Right.
deal with it right there.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
You got a community relations department,
Mm-hmm.
but when you go in there, it's like nobody there got a position of authority. Like, you dealing with the people in Rochdale, like
Right.
your friends. You go in there and
Uh-huh.
see your friends. Oh,
Right.
somebody hit me over the head. Oh, you want some ice? Okay, here, fill out this paperwork. We'll get back to you.
You know, a lot of people talk about community policing and how they should bring it back. I'm not such an advocate of community policing, and I'm gonna tell you why. You talk about Smitty. Smitty knows everybody, right? He knows everybody. And then something happens, if somebody do something, Smitty not gonna lock him up, because Smitty's eating with his mama. He eating dinner over there. He go to the store. He don't have to pay for anything. So Smitty probably not gonna lock nobody up on that beat because he's so well entrenched. But I'm definitely an advocate for having Smitty there for 30 days. Bring me there for 30 days. Bring you there for 30 days. Rotate it around. Because now we all getting the feel for the community.
Right.
You understand? We have to be realists. You just can't have black cops in black neighborhoods. It just don't work.
Right.
You're going to have other people. But these people, when they come there, they have to respect the community.
Right.
And the onus is on the supervisors to make sure. It's like the Garner case. Now a cop get locked up, accused of something. You find out he had 7 complaints. He's been this, he's been that.
Right.
We already know who the hotheads is. It's like the Volpe case with the Louima incident. They find out after that he's on steroids. You think nobody knew he wasn't on steroids before these things happened?
Right.
Like, I know policing. You can't tell me nothing about policing. I know how the NYPD work. It's a good old boy network. That's my man. Oh, don't do it again. No, that's your man. He did something. Take 30 vacation days from him. Suspend him for 30 days, no pay. You got to start hitting these people in the pockets. That's the only way they're going to learn.
So it's a mindset.
Oh, yeah, it's a mindset if the supervisors allow it to be a mindset. You know, when I was working, they was like, listen, I used to go to roll call and say, listen, y'all have a safe tour before they leave. I say, listen, if y'all do something while I'm out there, you don't have to worry about nobody calling internal affairs. I'm going to do it. So there's no guessing game, guys, all right? Don't do anything. While I'm working, trust me, if you do something, I'm calling internal affairs. So I made it know I was taking authority. Like, look,
Right.
for these 8 hours, y'all going to have to do what you got to do. When Joey's out here, y'all can do whatever y'all want. But it's not going to be on my watch. I'm not going to allow it. Right. Especially, I always worked in black and brown precincts, so those people look like me. Right. I'm like, that's me, off duty. You can't just be beating people up. You're going to beat me up if I come through here.
Right.
It don't work like that.
Right. That's amazing.
So it's somewhat of a cultural thing.
It is a cultural thing. And you had touched on like the blue wall and stuff. I don't even believe in none of that stuff. There's
Okay.
no blue wall.
Okay.
There's no blue. I never was a part of it if it's a blue wall because I was always about doing what's right. So if something was wrong, like one of my first arrests, I really can't touch it because it's in the book. But one of my first arrests, I had to take a stand. I had to take a stand on something. Hey, I'm a rookie, less than a year and a half. You ain't taking no stand, but I had to take one.
Right.
I was like, yo, this ain't right.
Right.
Sarge,
Right.
you got to do something about this. I ain't signed up for this.
Right. Right.
But then you kind of get ostracized, like, oh, man, he's not part of the team. No, I'm not part of the team. I'm part of the Pegues team.
Right.
That means my kids got to eat. I got to keep this job.
Right.
It is a fraternal order.
Yeah, it's a fraternal order. But everybody not a part of that fraternity. Trust me.
I got you.
I definitely wasn't a part of that.
Right. Right. So it's fair to say that the way that and when you were policing and commanding, the way that you looked at blacks and African Americans and the black and brown, the whole community, your officers knew, and their mindset. Even if I was under Bob all day, when I got under Corey, that I made the shift.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they shift. They went from 0 to 100 real quick because I wasn't playing games with them. Well, I would turn people out, turn out the roll call as a commander. And I say, listen, guys, be safe and don't do nothing wrong in my community tonight. And they would look at me like, because those 2 letters, mine, I took ownership. At that point, when I say don't do anything wrong in my community tonight, they was looking like, he don't live here. Why is he saying that?
Right.
When I was like, listen, I'm taking ownership. My community, be safe. Make sure my people are good. And it wasn't about black people. Just I'm the boss of this whole community.
Right.
So if something go wrong, it comes on me. Y'all better make sure you go out there and do what's right.
Beautiful.
It wasn't a popularity contest for me.
Right.
I ain't care if they didn't like me. Because a
set
lot
the
of people
tone.
want to be liked. You
You
know
set
that.
the
In
tone.
any
Right.
job, people want to be liked.
Right.
I didn't want to be like, I just swing my check every 2 weeks and I need to get out of here
Right.
and just go do what I do.
Right.
And most important, I need to keep getting my check.
Yeah, and most important, keep
Because
getting
when
them
the
check.
bus runs you over, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
Right.
That's right. Oh, it hurt bad.
That's amazing. And it sounds as if the level of respect was there. You know, and I love the word respect, and I love the behavior about respect, because it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter whether you agree or not. It's what you have to do. It's what is required of you. That level of respect. I have to respect my commanding officer enough. I have to respect my boss enough. I have to respect the leader of the business and so forth. So I'm figuring that all the degree and the training that you've had outside of the police force with all of that kind of, did it make a difference? Was it the service that helped you be able to just take control? Was it around the way? Because we know that we came from
Right.
an era of leaders.
Right.
But you know, the crazy thing is like, there's rules on every level of life.
Everything, right. With all
So
things
whether
life,
you're in the
there are
street,
rules.
whether you're in the workplace, whether you in a social environment, there's rules.
Oh yeah, and I use everything. And you know, I remember being younger. I never understood when I was in college as a cop, and I had to take statistics. The hardest class I ever took in my life. You know, I was a professor at Monroe College for 6 years too. I didn't tell you that, but I never understood why I had to take statistics until I figured it out. College for the young people. You might not get a job from what you went to school for, but college prepares you to critically think. And that's what school is for, higher education. It helps you to critically think. So when you talk about what makes, like, everything made me. So having advanced degrees, you're a little smarter, but it made me step back sometime and look at a situation different than somebody else that might not have had that higher education. You understand? So I was able to critically think about a situation.
I like that. And I'm going to have a question for you when we come back.
Yeah, hold that thought.
Seems like, hold that thought. We're gonna break for commercial, and we will be back. This is hot and juicy. We're gonna have to bring Kobe back.
He's coming
we
back.
gotta come back.
He's coming
We gotta
back.
do major
We
things.
need
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, PMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV. You are the man.
Boop. And we are back. And we just gonna keep it going. I think, what we talking about, man? I know not during the commercial, but what are we talking about? I don't know, man.
Yeah, you know.
This is crazy. This is,
He's just, before we went to commercial break, he's talking about critical thinking.
okay.
And I just want to say this. Young folks, you should be thinking critically before you get to college. College is to enhance that before you come out into the real world
Right.
and have to deal with real life situations. Because your bread and butter might be on the line for it. And you can't always run back home to mommy and daddy. With that being said, Let's continue.
So, wow, I think, did we cover everything?
Just about.
Is there anything that you want to, I know you have the website and everything going with the book going on. Is there any more advice you want to offer to the kids, to parents?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we have a bunch of advice. You know, I just finished writing a keynote speech I'm working on, and the title was called "Do Something Smarter," because you know, even when I was younger, on the street, you know, we was just doing stuff for the moment.
Right.
We didn't, which doing stuff for the moment, it you know, it has negative consequences.
Right.
I didn't know younger doing something smarter would be a payoff. You know, you can do anything you want to get what you want, right?
Right.
But you could do something smart and get more than you ever achieved. So I want these kids to understand and know that critical thinking is a key,
analysis.
and making sure when your friends are telling you to do something stupid. Even when I was in the streets doing crazy stuff, when my friends was gonna do something crazy with like 7 C's in front of crazy,
Right.
I was like, I had to critically think my way out of it. Like, yo, I gotta go to my girl house. I'm gonna meet y'all there. What time we doing that?
Right.
I'll
be
meet y'all
back.
there.
Right.
But I never showed up.
Right.
But I made it in a way where I wasn't looking like the punk, and you know. So it's ways where I understand you gotta have your street cred and all of that, but you need to live to see another day.
And you know, the funny thing about that, we also had the older heads, like Shorty
Right.
Black, that
Yeah.
come here, man, smack you in the head.
Uh-huh.
What you doing, man? What you about?
Exactly.
In the house, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So even in that aspect, we policed each other.
Exactly.
And from learning from that, you may see a kid you know doing something. You say, "Yo, man, come here, man.
Right.
What you, get in the car. Let's take a ride." And you you navigate that situation. Critical analysis, critical thinking.
That's right.
Sometimes people need people to intervene on their behalf.
Oh, definitely. And as far as dealing with the police, like I said, you know, just keep your mouth shut, stay calm, talk in a very monotone voice, just, you know, follow the orders, because I always used to do this, you could always escalate. It's hard to de-escalate.
De-escalate. Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
I would tell cops that all the time, like, you go to the door, boom, 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 it's the police. You be, yo, what's going on here? And like, you in somebody's house. Like, you just can't be coming to people out, even though they called us here,
Right.
but you just can't be disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah, they got roaches, there's some mice over there, but this is where they live, it's their house. You
Right.
still got to respect that person.
Right.
As opposed to knocking on the door and say, yes, we got a call, excuse me, sir, man. Everybody else screaming, you just like, hey, then you always be, look, y'all called me over here, I don't know what's going on, you against the wall, you over there. Then you can, because they always remember, yo, the guy came in here, he was pretty nice. And then he escalated.
Right.
But you can't be a prick and then go down to be a nice guy.
Right.
Nobody's
Right.
never, if you're a
Right.
prick, you're a prick.
Right. Right.
You're never
From the
going to be a
door.
nice guy.
From the door. I know we did a conference back in November. Phenomenal thing, and the original material. I believe in emotional intelligence. I believe that it helps you to manage your emotions, understand it, at least acknowledge, know where you are and how you function, and so on and so forth. And I also remember getting stopped by the cops. I also remember getting stopped by detectives, and the mind thought, because there's a difference between when you're doing something wrong and you know it, and I'm talking about you're holding some drugs or something or whatever, you got an open container, as opposed to not having anything and being stopped. And the emotions are a little different, but as of late, when you read the news and so forth, what has happened. I remember, it's a crazy story. I'm at my church. They changed the code on the alarm, right? So the alarm's ringing. And I'm doing everything that I have to do there. And then it just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm locking up. I'm going to hit the pastor and tell him, yo, because I don't want to be here if the cops come.
That's right.
Because the alarm's ringing, big 6'5", black man, bald head. I fit the profile. It's not going to be a nice picture. But it's difficult, I would say. And you tell me, if I'm already nervous about the police, what should that thought process be like? What is it, the cops are coming, I'm already nervous, I'm clean, I'm good, I'm ready to show them the palms of my hand, but I'm nervous. Are you guys, taught to recognize that, or what happens in those split-second moments?
Well, cops they get a plethora of training. They get big training from social science, and, all kind of training.
Right.
So they're trained to evaluate situations real quick. Like the song 0 to 100. Things could go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Right.
So they should always be coming to situations on guard, raised up, because you never know what's gonna happen. But you keep that raised up in your pocket if you have to use it. Even if it has to get physical, they should be going from the lowest use of force with verbal, punch, kick, mace, gun. They should be going. Sometimes you gotta go right to gun. Sometimes you gotta go right to mace. Right. But in a perfect world, you'll verbally then go up. So they're trained to keep their emotions in check. And the ones that just go off the deep end need to be identified, because you just don't choke Eric Garner out. It just don't happen over. You don't come out of the academy and choke somebody out. Right. It don't happen. These things are learned behaviors. These things are you being allowed to get away with things all the time. Nobody's disciplining you. You just going out every day. You don't slap somebody. You don't punch somebody. You've been in a shooting. Like you getting a pass. Then you end up choking and killing somebody. And then everybody goes, oh, well, here's his record. He did this, that, and the other. But nobody did anything.
Okay. Nobody intervened.
Right. So today, Bratton put out an article today that the police are changing the disciplinary process, taking a lot of stuff from internal affairs. He just wants them to do major corruption and giving the police commanders some of the other stuff, like driving around, whatever, with a wrong parking pass or some stuff like that. He's giving it to the commanders. I don't necessarily agree. Because sometimes the commanders, they don't want that record that they command. Like, you keep disciplining. They like, yo, what's going on in your precinct?
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
Maybe you shouldn't be here.
Right.
We got to remove you. So we'll see. Let's just start. We'll see where they're going with it. But I know the bottom line in the New York City Police Department, they need to start disciplining these cops, as well as all around the country.
Absolutely.
One thing I notice is when you go to different areas, you talked about Central Park, you talked about Bryant Park. Certain areas get policed, certain areas get serviced.
Oh yeah, Bryant Park. Central
There's a
Park
big-
is
there's a
it's a
big
service.
Right.
Before we run out of time, because believe it or not, we're done. You know what I mean? We're almost there. Let everyone know how they can get in contact with you, with the book and everything. Any website,
Right.
type of information you want to hit, and then Chad, you close out on the sponsors.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, C Pegues. That's CPEGUES. Facebook, Corey Pegues, and Instagram, Corey Pegues. Find me on all of those social networks.
Okay. Now, when do you know exactly when the book is due for release, or
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
So we'll just
Y'all are keeping
we'll keep in
Mad
touch. We'll stay in
Mad
touch.
House to make sure you'll drop it.
No doubt.
Right.
You want to hit the sponsors?
Yeah.
We love the sponsors.
This time we would like to thank Roger and Shavonna Johnson and the Whitney E. Johnson Foundation, our sponsors of today's show, and the Bricks program in general. And we would like to just thank them for allowing us to do what we do. Come on and have quality guests.
Quality
such
guests.
as Corey Pegues.
Quality guests.
And we want to keep this rolling in the future. So we hope that everybody supports the show because it's real relevant for the time.
Absolutely. Tune in every fourth Thursday. We are here, Building Bricks segment of AAU Teen Talk TV.
What time is that?
4 p.m. to 5 p.m.
That's right, you got it.
And we're building up the YouTube channel, so we'll be hitting you on that. So you'll be able to catch up in case you're at work and can't slide over to.
Your information.
Oh man, beautifulmenandwomen.com. We doing our thing, Building Bricks, youth development program. Man, I'm just ready to kick it with Corey, man. We out. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next month.